Do not buy these Brainrots and steal Brainrot, or you might lose your entire base. Because as you guys all know, there are a ton of different rare Brainrots ranging from difficult to get all the way up to basically impossible to ever find. Now, with these Brainrots being so incredibly hard to acquire, players naturally started resorting to strategies that weren't exactly the most legit, like trying to bait rich collectors into doing trades and then trying to scam them for the ultra rare Brainrot. Of course, this really didn't work that well at all, and a lot of the more honest players didn't want to scam people even if they had the chance to get a strawberry elephant. However, there were some scammers who came up with this absolutely crazy, borderline genius strategy that allowed them to scam entire bases with a 100% success rate. Now, it all started with the Brainrot black market, where a lot of players were illegally selling their rare Brainrots for real life money. And what the scammers would do is they would grind decently rare Brainrots in their private servers with 4 times luck, and then list them on the black market for relatively good deals. That way they could get a ton of sales and rack up a really good rating. Then, once they had enough reviews to make it look like they were a totally honest seller who would never scam anybody, they would put up a listing for a really rare Brainrot like a strawberry elephant, and instead of charging the standard black market rate of $3,000, they would list theirs for a crazy good deal of around $500. Now, a lot of players would just take the $500 and disappear, never to be seen again, once somebody fell for the fake listing. However, these scammers were incredibly sneaky and figured out how to trick the player into paying the $500 and handing over his entire collection of rare Brainrots. You see, the scammers would first put in the instructions for the delivery of the strawberry elephant that they need the buyer to have Brainrots over a certain amount of millions per second in their base for verification purposes. Then, once the scammer joined into the buyer's private server, they would say that they were transferring the strawberry elephant over and would go AFK. But here's where it gets crazy, because the scammer would then open up a special external cheat and execute a script payload that would instantly freeze the buyer's game and make them unable to exit the server or even close Roblox. And from here, the scammer could just walk on over the base, steal all the incredibly rare Brainrots, and disappear, never to be seen again.